Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blood Bowl. I am the Complacent Badger, and
Sounded like you forgot.
I
I'm Sir
yeah,
Kilo.
I messed. I just bad. I almost said I'm the Stalking Dead. That's why.
You're not the Stalking Dead, bro.
I'm not. No. So we're watching the Stalking Dead versus the Hills Have the Ball, seeing some Ogre on Dead action. I think last time this team played, the Ogres took the game,
I believe that happened.
but this time got Blodge on Ghouls, and he's got two Moomies, one with guard.
Two of those mummies, man.
These Moomies
I
are
had
so
the
good.
privilege and honor of playing against that team with two mummies, and boy,
It's a difference.
yeah. Which means that the Hills Have the Ball are going to be tied up with those mummies for the entirety of the game. So this really needs to be a snotling focused offense, and keeping that D spread out and try not to engage as much as possible. So
Opting to go for hits against the line instead of doing any movements to cover the ball or do anything really to prevent the Undead from putting on pressure. So we'll see if that bites him in the ass.
yeah, full engagement,
Yep.
full engagement.
And then hanging out, actually putting down an Ogre.
Nice.
And a stun, which is really good. So now he's kind of in charge of the line right now, and he has every single Snotling engaged. Except for that guy. Fuck that guy.
Right.
Marcus?
Don't mind that happening though, to be honest with you. So now he's gonna have to dodge all of those guys away. I don't think I'd have gone for that dodge first. We need to do something to protect that ball.
Yep. Which I thought he was going to do it because these things have movement allowance to do that. He could have easily gotten there. But it looks like he's just doing some zone defense on offense.
Okay. I mean, pick up the ball.
No, it's Ogre time. Break tackle, and then attempting to do an additional dodge. So, okay. No protection of the ball, and doing a dodge with an agility 2.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. That break tackle only lets you use your strength on that first dodge.
Correct.
So that second dodge,
Is
he was using his agility 2,
and I think he was also dodging into a tackle zone. Oh, you know what? I think it might have been open, then another open space, then the ghoul. So it was just straight agility plus a 2. So it would have been a coin flip on the second dodge.
right?
The Undead doing a really good job getting the one Snotling that was marking the ball out of the way, getting over there. Not getting aggressive with the Snotlings to try to stop the ghoul, so just trying to do a zone defense now that he has now on the defense.
Right. So now the primary focus is going to be
That's Zombie gone.
regen.
Boney. Using a reroll to fix that bonehead, so now one reroll remaining, and you have 5 turns remaining. Alright, the dodge saving the player did not set any Snotlings up to give at least a single assist, so went for a 1 die against a Blodge character. I think I would have paid a Snotling to get an extra die against that.
Oh, absolutely agree.
Alright.
I'm concerned that maybe there's just a sidestep. So that blitz
Nice.
against that sidestep was.
Well, it's one of those things that had he not followed up, he may have been able to mitigate how damning that sidestep was. But the Titchy, the kind of the back end of the Snotling, I think it's actually the Stunty that does it. but the Snotlings do not give additional negative modifiers for dodging into their tackle zones. So no matter what, dodging, you can dodge circles around a Snotling, and for that ghoul it was a 3+ every time. So while it forced...
Yeah, so that worked out super well.
Yeah, so while it forced him to make additional dodge rolls, they were not difficult dodge rolls.
Yeah.
All right, kick off field it looks like, and ball into the Snotling's hand. So really good on the Undead player. Whether or not he knew about the Snotlings doing that, it worked out. I have a feeling because he was, if I remember correctly talking to him, he was preparing a little bit for this game and figuring things out. So
Yeah, but that's a good pickup, and that was an aggressive move, but it worked out real well.
It was an aggressive move, but very well calculated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely correct.
And so Partial Cage doesn't really need to put the Snotling behind. Actually feels at a gain a little bit more if he puts the Snotling up in the front. Prevents flanking and gets an extra cell. A lot of Ogres hitting and achieving nothing. And getting a little bit of presence. So Defender stumbles, but the white does not have tackles, so that will be a push and a sidestep. Ooh, he gave that Snotling diving tackle. That is awesome.
That's super fun.
Be careful of that guy. Ooh, 2 and then a 1 to getting away from that one. So this could get a good situation. The tricksy part is actually you might be able to run it up to this Ogre, and the Ogre just toss him.
Yeah, and that would well, that's tough. But that would be one of the first times that we've seen a Ogre that wasn't really in a tackle zone throwing a Snotling.
And attempting to use it for ball movement and not as a latch ditch effort.
Fair. I mean, we've seen him throw a Snotling with a ball, or try to throw a Snotling with a ball.
But it's always been
before.
in a not very good situation, and
right. Not, it wasn't as a primary strategy. It was as a I can't really do anything else. So
yeah, it would have been interesting.
But and those are the kind of opportunities that you're hoping for. Is that because he doesn't have the Ogre doesn't have strong arm.
It's really interesting that he went all the way up adjacent to that ghoul. Like,
I thought that as well, but I wasn't going to say anything, seeing what was going to happen. But he did use a going for it to get directly next to.
Yeah, like, was he expecting that player not to stand up and destroy him?
Yeah, and it's tough to see a brand new coach with a team as idiosyncratic and notoriously difficult to play, picking it as a first go.
Yeah, especially when
he's going
clear that he doesn't have the fundamentals just yet.
Right, and then that's what we mentioned last time, when you see a team that is a little more straightforward versus a team that's fairly complicated, where he's tried to go both ways with this team, and he was going as Ogres as the ball carrier, and now he's trying to go Snotlings as a ball carrier, and though he's doing a much better job of the Snotlings as a ball carrier than he was initially, he still hasn't perfected it yet.
Okay. I was very confused what was going on, but now I get it. That's a great name, Gangsta Rap.
Gangsta Rap, yeah.
I did not notice that.
Oh, I did.
Oof.
But then again, he was menacing my team for a little while, so I had an incentive.
So Undead very intelligently marking the ball right now, and then just letting the Ogres make mistakes and seeing if he can make Snotlings mess up.
And that's the way to go. I mean, it sometimes seems passive, but when you know that your opponent is at the disadvantage of a die roll, and that if you can get presence and engage, and you can have a better go at it next time, that's the way that you want to go.
So doing a break tackle to get this Ogre here. I don't know if there was too terribly much gained from doing that, but we'll see. I guess it gets him out from fighting a battle that's not very useful. Ooh.
Ooh.
A 1 on a break tackle, no rerolls remaining, and an injury.
That's going to be a decisive disadvantage coming into the second half.
Yep. What a great move. Ball bounces into the mummy's hand, so he's like, well, mummy's not going to be very useful this, so he can just drop it into the white's hands.
Perfect, perfect. Now, does the white have enough movement to get there?
I mean,
he did use it going for it. One going for it instead of two, so...
Well, he is out of any range of any player, other than a snotling throw.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is for a touchdown. He can get a touchdown with...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going for it, yes.
Okay.
He put it
so
to
one
where,
going for it?
Yeah, 2 going for it.
Two going.
He opted to, maybe because he had already used his reroll for that turn. He
did 1 reroll this time and then 2 for the next time.
So he's hoping with 2 rerolls to get, or sorry, with a reroll to get 2 2+s, and he does. Yep. So that's really good risk management and realizing what you've done for the turn. It's like, okay, I have used my reroll, so do the one that I have to do, so I have a chance at a touchdown, but don't overcommit and ruin my chances if I don't have a reroll, even on a 2+.
Yeah, I'm just playing a very strategic but conservative game, and he's being aggressive when he needs to be and when he should be, and he's being a little more hands-off and letting the ogres take the risks for him when that benefits him. So I like seeing the two sides. Now, not to say that the ogres are ever at a disadvantage when he plays a little coy, but it creates that situation where just the play style of the ogres and the aggressive nature that he likes to play with the ogres means that he's taking a lot more risks.
Yeah, the Undead are definitely allowing the ogres to be baited into bad situations.
But that's good play style. I mean, we've seen that with other coaches as well. Is part of your strategy is to impose your will on the opposing player, and if that will is, hey, if you want to pick up the ball, you got to pick up the ball, but it's a -2 modifier. And then you're going to have to dodge in and out. So how bad do you want the ball? Or better than that, especially because of the strength advantage, you can tie up a lot of players, and those mummies are doing a fairly good job of that. So I think that this is more than anything a team disadvantage.
Yep.
Because the ogres haven't had a lot of luck.
Yep. Interesting thing that I don't think we've talked about, he just used a team reroll to reroll Pennywise getting into this position. I haven't talked about it with an ogre team and similar teams, but Bonehead is a way of life as an ogre team. You have to be willing for it to happen. And every team reroll that you put into fixing Bonehead is not being used for anything beneficial. Unless it's something critical, like an ogre needs to do something, an ogre needs to have tackle zones, something along those lines, you are burning a reroll just so that an ogre can go to a position where he gets stunned.
True.
So that's a team reroll that he will not get back for the remainder of the half when he's only got 3 as the team. So my point being is that you need to be willing to let Bonehead happen and use those rerolls when they matter.
And I think that we've seen a lot of the other teams accept that for their big guys, where if it goes a really stupid or a wild animal, you're not seeing too many players re-roll stuff like that.
But that's the risk of loner that I think is convincing a lot of people to adopt that early on. The ogre team does not have loner, so it's a lot more tempting to re-roll that 2+.
Right, especially because when you fail on a 1, you feel that deep down.
Yeah. So that dodge saving that ghoul over and over and over again and just happening to miss the dodge and getting stunned right there.
But for as many times as he's had to use that?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a little bit too much snotling presence on the ball.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, but he's got nobody downfield.
I lied. That last one did it.
Well, and the most asinine part about this is that there's a clear route to the Snotling now.
Right.
Like an easy route to kill that Snotling.
But then another player will pick it up, and it'll be
And
fine.
opts not to take it. No, I don't know if he didn't see it. He could have gone around. He had the movement to do it. Be cognizant of your routes. Always try to find a route to the ball carrier. Hitting people around the cage is the B plan. Okay, I can't get to the ball carrier without mitigating or not without huge risk. Then I'll go for a guy to open up the cage.
Right.
And that would have been stellar had he hit that Snotling.
Okay. Reworked his plan.
Okay,
I like it.
which is fine because that opens.
Let's do it.
Okay, damn. One. No rerolls.
That would have been phenomenal.
I don't know if he had used a reroll that turn yet. I don't think he had. So if that's the case, again, granted, if I'm wrong, I apologize. But if that was the case, that bonehead that you re-rolled earlier, was that the one that would have changed it, or would that re-roll of a 1 on the throw teammate would have been better?
It's a fair question.
Hindsight 2020, of course, and I could also be wrong in that he did use the re-roll for the handoff or something, but either way, it's a good lesson to think about.
But hey, you know what? Bottom line is, I like that he recognized that look and went for it.
Yep, that was good.
Those things fail, and that sucks. But
had it worked, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, buddy.
And then the Undead taking advantage of that, getting that touchdown real fast.
Yeah, and I think that the part of the problem with that happening was that the Ogre team, they started off with the Ogres as runners, and I think that they lost touchdowns early in the season. Their team value isn't super high. I think going to the Snotling runner at in the middle of the season, once kind of everybody's leveled up and have been concerned with agility teams.
No, Bill F. and Murray.
No fun.
You killed Bill Murray.
But
it's just like zombies.
But that's what we, when we look at things like that and we go, I think that if he'd, instead of playing half a season for star player points, and he played a full season, because I think that's really what it comes down to, is that a lot of the issues that he has with the lack of skills is that he started playing in the middle of the season.
Yeah. For me, I attribute it. We've talked about the play style, and we've kind of run that into the ground. Coming at it from a different angle, I think his starting team composition was off. I think he should have suffered having only 3 Ogres to start with, and should have started with 5 or even 6 rerolls.
That's a fair play as well.
Your Snotlings aren't gonna eat up a lot of your rerolls. Your Ogres are gonna need that for their lack of block.
Right. Not so much for the Bonehead, mind you. But
no.
Or the really stupid, I mean.
It would be Bonehead for this one.
Bonehead. I got it.
If you have 3 Boneheads in a turn, man, it happens. The only time that you want to do for the Bonehead, if you want to reroll for the Bonehead, is if it's like, all right, I need this guy to blitz because it's going to be an opponent's touchdown, or he's about to get, my Ogre is about to walk into the end zone, but he boneheaded or something like that.
Right.
But you needed more rerolls. If you haven't noticed, man, every game you go to 0 rerolls immediately.
Yeah, and the worst part about that is there's really no way to remedy that at this point.
And I'm pretty sure Ogres are a team that are 140,000 per reroll. For a team like this, the reason why those rerolls are so expensive is because they're so important.
Right.
They give those costs for team rerolls to balance it. So for teams that have higher costing team rerolls, it generally means that those rerolls are more powerful for that team.
Yep, and it would have been the being able to get them for half price in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. You would have to suffer having less, but 1 less Ogre saves you 140,000. You can get 2 team rerolls for 1 Ogre.
It's a pretty fair trade-off.
Yeah, four touchdowns for the Undead. But yeah, I think 2 extra rerolls would have been a lot better than that that 4th starting Ogre.
Yeah, that'll be one of those things that I think if we have anybody else start a new team going forward, we might check and balance it. Maybe be like, hey, what do you think about?
Well, it's one of those things we've never hidden our willingness to help. And if you want to make a team and you want to make it the way you want to make it, that's perfectly fine. But sometimes a team is engineered to work a certain way until you get them skilled up. Can the Ogres work as a ball carrier? Yes, but just like any other team, you have to do the way they're made until you get the right skills to turn them into that.
Fair play.
And then switch your tactic once you get the proper skills to do it. If you get an Ogre that you get a +1 agility, and you give him like sure hands or something like that, or anything like that, then you can start doing that strategy. For instance, my Goblin team. I didn't focus on Goblin throws in the beginning of the season. I just tried doing running game with cages and a couple short passes here and there. Once I got both of my trolls to have break, tackle, and strong arm, that's when I started playing the throw teammate game, and I also had an agility 4 Goblin. So I used all those components to start doing it multiple times a game and start scoring more often with it.
Yeah, and that's why the Ogre teams are notoriously difficult, is because they don't come built to play like you want to play them. You have to be developed into that. But I think that overall, when it comes down to this game, Stalking Dead did a really super job of playing smart, engaging, taking advantage of situations that presented themselves, and the Hills have the ball. I think that this is just a culmination of having a rough time the entire season. That we like the dedication. It doesn't look at any point that you gave up. I bet that you get frustrated, obviously, with a lack of positive results. But I like that you were trying, and you changed your tactics, you changed your strategy, you took advice, and sometimes you just get a little behind the power curve, and it's rough to get it. But if you keep the team, or you go for a different team next season, or especially we come into the short season in the break where you don't have to play this team again, that you can really fall in love with the strategy of the game and keep playing, man.
Yep.
Because watching you develop, I like the way that you've come, that you see the things, but you just don't necessarily have the team to play. So I think that a different team, or maybe a different play style, it'd make this a lot more fun for you. Mm-hmm. But it was good to watch that team play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stalking Dead, nearly flawless game. Good job. Saw an opponent, saw what you needed to do to capitalize, and did it. For the Hills have the ball. Moments of clarity through the fog. You played a relatively good game, especially at certain snapshots. And I think you can make the team work. You just have to be willing to work with the team. And with that, I think we're good.
Rock and roll.
Adios.
Later.